Hey everyone, it's Ivan, keybadger.com, here today to talk about how to field strip your honey badger by Q. There you are, out in the woods with arguably kind of the best hiking companion, and you're like, you know what, I have never cleaned this weapon. True story. Honestly, personally, usually just pull the bolt back, pour some lube in there, run it, call it good, run it wet and dirty. But if for whatever reason you're like, I want to break this thing down, I will show you how, because there are admittedly a couple nuanced differences. Well, the honey badger, very similar to other direct impingement guns, AR platforms, there are some unique differences. So first of all, I'm gonna go ahead and clear this guy. And once we've done that, it's a matter of breaking apart the upper and lower. Takedown pins are the same, except the process is going to be a little bit different. What you're going to do is, mind you, I'm C-clamping this thing. Keep this thing C-clamped. Oh, it's cold. My fingers don't work. And once we've undone that, again, keeping this thing C-clamped, it's going to allow us to let the upper receiver move forward a little bit and then up to clear all the internals and then forward again, keeping it as low as possible. At that point, we can bring this apart. We now have our lower receiver, our spring assembly, and this piece, which I forget what it's called. And then we can go ahead, of course, break our bolt out, as well as our charging handle. If you want to further assemble or further disassemble your bolt carrier group, you can do so at this point. Now, of course, we have a big pile of parts, whether you cleaned them or not. I didn't. I chose to take the liberty of using some of this Spec 1 Premium Blend by Sig Sauer, not to be confused with Slip 2K. Actually, it's just white labeled, but stuff's always performed pretty good for me. So getting this guy together, we are basically going to do all that stuff in reverse. So I'm going to go ahead and take my upper receiver, try and knock a little bit of the snow out of it, or not. Honey badger doesn't care. Take our charging handle, go ahead and put that guy in there. Make sure our bolt is forward. Drop this in there. My bolt is not forward. Go ahead and seat that. At this point, we're going to take our little, whatever this is called, I forget, even though I did a deep dive. But this part on top of our spring, this is going to go ahead and get seated inside the back of our bolt carrier. And then if you look past the snow, you'll see basically a guide rod in there. We're going to go ahead and feed this spring onto the guide rod, like such. And then here's the magic. We want to go ahead and keep our upper receiver as low as possible and parallel with our lower receiver, and at the same time basically kind of feed this spring back. Otherwise you're going to send it back to Q and your spring's going to be doing this with some like 90-degree bends, and they're going to be like, what happened? You're going to be like, I don't know. Well, you do know, you screwed it up. So keeping this low, we're going to push it back, and one of my takedown pins closed on me. Once we push it back, we can seat it down, and then it's just a matter of, is it lined up? Pushing our takedown pins in, bam, there we have it. At this point, you can go ahead and do your function check, do all that stuff, and you're good to go. So, you can go ahead and load this guy back up before lions or wolves or bears or moose come. As you can see, there's really not much to it. It's really a matter of making sure you keep the upper and lower C-clamped when you take those pins out, and make sure it moves as low as possible as it moves forward to disassemble. Same thing going back, and make sure you basically guide that spring in there. Otherwise, you can wreck it. But that's it. It's how to disassemble and reassemble your Honey Badger by Q. And as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.